Good evening and welcome to Concerts and Conversations. My name is Susan Lamb Cook, and I am director of the VITA Academy's Great Composers Chamber Music Series, which, along with the Sacramento Baroque Soloists, is bringing you this series of concerts. The mission of the Great Composers Series is to present quality chamber music concerts throughout the community, as well as to train young musicians in the art of chamber music. In normal times, our series takes place in the lovely Scott Skillman Recital Hall at the Harris Center, but for the time being has now shifted to this online platform. We hope you will enjoy tonight's concert, along with the Sacramento Baroque Soloists presentation on Saturday and the Rising Stars concert on Sunday. I am excited to share the stage this evening with dear friends and colleagues, violinists Dagenais Smiley and Chase Spruill, and violist Cassandra Lynne Richburg, as well as pianist Andrei Baumann, who joins us from the East Coast. I would like to thank Matt Gilliam of Gilliam Media Productions and Stephen Bingen, audio engineer for the UC Davis Department of Music, for their work in creating the quartet videos, as well as Andrei Baumann and his media team for making possible his performance this evening. The first and last pieces on the program are works by Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges. These are from his second set of string quartets entitled Six Concertant Quartets. The Chevalier de Saint-Georges was an extraordinary historical figure. Born on the island of Guadeloupe, son of an enslaved Senegalese woman and a wealthy French landowner, Joseph Bologne was taken to Paris as a young boy to be educated at the best schools, trained as a fencer, equestrian, and dancer. And he rose in prominence as a virtuosic violinist, composer, and conductor. Despite the challenges he faced because of the color of his skin, Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges, became among the most important musicians in pre-revolutionary Paris. I hope you will enjoy hearing these works and invite you to learn more about the VITA Academy's Chevalier project, which will provide a video and study guide to elementary school students in the fall of 2021. Information and a link can be found on the VITA Academy website. I am also thrilled to have pianist Andrei Baumann join the program this evening with works by Johannes Brahms and Samuel Coleridge-Taylor. After his performance, I look forward to his conversation with violinist Chase Spruill as they talk about their musical creativity during this past year and plans for the future. If you enjoy this concert, please consider making a donation to the VITA Academy using the link in the YouTube description box below to support this virtual event. If you have comments or questions throughout the program, please use the chat feed. I hope you will join us for the Sacramento Baroque Soloists tomorrow and the concluding Great Composers Concert on Sunday, featuring our young rising stars. Again, thank you for joining us and enjoy the program.
Hi, my name is Andrei Baumann, and I have the pleasure of presenting you two sets of pieces that I've become incredibly fond of over the past few months. One is The Lone Forest Maiden by Samuel Coleridge-Taylor, and the other is Brahms for Klavierstücke, Opus 119. I had never played music by Coleridge-Taylor before, and he's a contemporary of Brahms. His music is incredibly melodious and soulful, and I just really enjoyed diving into this piece. There are more movements of the forest scenes, and I would love to learn them in the near future. And as far as the Brahms, these are the last piano pieces that he wrote, Opus 119, and they are just masterpieces. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface on them, and I have such a far way to go. They're wonderful pieces that truly have spoken to me during these trying times. I hope you all enjoy this music, and thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for being with us today. This is the wonderful, fantastic, tremendous, phenomenal pianist, Andrei Baumann. Thanks for being with us today, Andrei.
Thank you so much, Chase. I really don't know how to respond to that, so all I can say is thank you.
Well, that was a
It's really, really nice to be able to play on the series. I believe we were supposed to be playing in April together on the same series, and it's a real shame that that couldn't happen, but it's still nice to be a part of it in some way. So,
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things when I hear a fantastic performance like you just gave, it's one of the things where I'm reminded how much like I miss being in the room to hear you transferring that music making and trying to share in that space with other people. Yeah, I was really curious in listening to your performance of the Samuel Coleridge-Taylor. Had you had many exposures to his music before? Like, what's your background with him?
so sadly, I had never heard any of his music before. I just knew the name, and I'm so glad that I was able to play this piece. I actually really want to play the whole set, um, and I think what I'm really drawn to is just kind of it has a very simple, almost innocent quality to it with a lot of sweeping gestures, and it's a really really fantastic piece of music. Um, so yeah, it's been a real joy to work on it.
When you talk about the whole set of forest scenes, what did we hear um, today, and what else sort of completes the whole set?
So this is the first piece in the opus, and as far as I can tell, the rest of the opus is a journey into the woods. So I, again, I think over time when I have more of a chance to look at the music, I will be able to give you an even better answer.
No, that's
But but yeah, no, they're really really beautiful pieces, and I I've just been felt really really fortunate to be able to work on them. So or on the Lone Forest Maiden, and it's got to happen. I need to learn the rest of the set. So.
well, I'm only saying this because we're very close friends. I've known you for a while, and you talk about this piece taking a journey into the woods, and I have to ask you, um, what has it been like for you trying to keep your musical creativity alive during this whole time? I mean, have you been using anything like going out into nature to find inspiration to keep yourself afloat or energized, or how have you been trying to connect to the world during all of this?
So yeah, that's a great question, Chase. I think that's basically been one of the only ways that I've been kind of able to keep an even keel through all these times. I think just our whole relationship with music has been changed completely. Um, and I don't want to sound too negative because I'm really really happy to have gotten this experience to perform, but I have to say that listening to the recording, the first thing that I feel is I just need to play these pieces for an audience in person because I think I'm really lucky as a performer. I really feed off that energy from the audience, almost in a way where it helps me block out all my other thoughts, and it just helps me to express music. And so doing this kind of live online performance is just a completely different animal. And yeah, it's been interesting, but I feel like these pieces I'm really happy with where they've gone, but I think they're going to blossom even more, um, being able to play in front of different, have them shared with other people. And obviously, I mean, I love playing chamber music with everyone, and I really miss playing chamber music with you and with Lynn and with Susan, of course. And so
Same for us, friend. No, you're using words like blossom, and I'm feeling this tremendous guilt that I'm not one of the people that feels as connected to nature as much as I should be. But I wonder
I
if
mean,
when you're playing this piece, does it sort of evoke a sense of connecting to nature for you? And do you think that what do you think listeners might be gleaning from the aesthetic and the language in that music?
typical Chase with all the great questions. Yeah, no, I mean, I would really say that um, there's kind of an underlying piece through the entire piece of music. And I think that is a piece that, when you're in nature and, you know, just the feel of, the sun or just the whole atmosphere, I think that's conveyed in the piece. I really do. I think that definitely comes across. And like I keep saying, I'm all set to learn the rest of the set because I feel like I've just, kind of scratched the surface. And but yeah, the Lone Forest Maiden, it's a beautiful piece. It's been a pleasure to work on.
That's great. I'm looking forward to hearing you continue on that journey, and I'm really glad that this is one of those pieces that we're getting to hear more. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation about how to best serve and present and be in conversation with fellow music lovers and listeners.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, underrepresentation in music and just the kinds of feelings that they'll get from this kind of exposure. So I'm really, really happy that this music is in your hands. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
hearing the
Yeah.
rest.
I mean, it's only the beginning, right? So
Right.
now I'm ready to keep on going with it. So
There you go. Excellent.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Andrei. I mean, really, any chance I get to hear you is such a treat for me. And I know that that's going to be very true for other people. So thank you that you would have joined us on this program.
of course. Jason, come on. Do you want to talk about the Brahms at all?
Oh, the Brahms, yes. So
I know you love Brahms. Then.
what about your exploration in the Brahms? Is this something that you've had a long-lasting relationship with?
So yeah, so the Brahms pieces they're really interesting. These are the last piano pieces that he wrote, Opus 119, and I was just reading that actually when they were premiered, the Opus 118 intermezzos were on the same program, which is really neat. Um, and I feel like these pieces are so incredibly personal. I feel like they're going to take a lifetime to explore. Um, they're so yeah. So basically, it's really interesting. The last movement, has this really kind of um, orchestral. I don't want to say bombastic, but really like you can hear the horns. You can like hear the hunting calls in the mountains or something. Um, that kind of sound, and I've heard it before, um, but I never really knew the context with all the other pieces. And yeah, they're amazing. The first movement sounds so much like Schumann, um, and I find it's so incredible. It is just dissonance after dissonance after dissonance, and then we just travel and finally end up in B minor, and it's perfect. I don't know how does somebody compose that. I mean, it's just fantastic. And yeah, I don't know. The second movement has an incredibly beautiful middle section that reminds me of Schubert, of Brahms, of course. I mean, it's like your typical incredibly beautiful Brahms melody. The third movement, um, it was really funny that my partner actually told me when she heard me practicing it. She said, "Why are you playing Rachmaninoff right now?" And it really sounds. I bet Rachmaninoff must have played these pieces because it comes. There's something in that language, So they're phenomenal pieces, and Yeah.
I'm wondering how many people think to pair Brahms and Coleridge-Taylor together.
I have no idea, but I'm so glad I did it. And actually, that's thanks to Susan, because she made the suggestion of looking for different composers. And yeah, I think it works so well because you kind of have this piece, and you're in A minor, and it just there's I think something in the transition really works. I'm just thinking, the end of the Coleridge-Taylor actually ends in a kind of uplifting way in A major, even though the whole piece is basically in A minor. But then going into that dissonance of the first intermezzo, I think it works. I think it really works.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this is going to be something that's going to, be taken to new levels, that people will program this music all the time now. I certainly hope so. I don't see why those two composers wouldn't work together. That doesn't make sense. So.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the idea that underrepresented composers, or the voices of underrepresented composers, should be reserved for specific concerts in a specific month. And so, like, I hope that we're finding ourselves culturally moving away from that, and being able to recognize all music for what it is and its value, and its intrinsic value, and that the music itself is the doorway for getting to know about the people that wrote it, and the histories, what makes them them, what inspires the aesthetic of what we're seeing on the page or hearing in our ears. Yeah, I hope we're moving toward a more whole, integrated,
absolutely,
universe of programming. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and I also think that we just have so much to learn. I mean, there are all these composers who we've never heard of, and I feel like so much more about just composers, especially contemporary composers, where I think I always can continue to learn. That's something that but yeah, this program it's been a real joy to be able to work on it, and it's great to be able to play these works. Obviously, I wish that it was in person in the Harris Center, but we'll take this, and this is fantastic. And obviously, we're going to be playing together sometime soon. It just has to happen. So
I think so. Yeah, we're moving toward health, and we're gonna get there.
Yeah, as long as everybody continues to stay safe, we should be fine.
That's right. Let's take care of each other, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, Andrei, thank you again. It's a pleasure to get a chance to talk with you about this music. It's great to get to hear you. I miss you. I'm glad we have a way to hear you from afar. So thanks for being with us today.
Thanks so much, Chase.
Really glad you were a part of this program. And our final piece on this program will be the String Quartet in C major by Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges. Thank you for joining us.
Can't wait to hear it.
I hope to see you tomorrow evening for the Sacramento Baroque Soloists presentation and on Sunday for the Rising Stars concert. Please consider making a donation to the VITA Academy using the link in the description box below. If you miss any of these concerts or would like to view them again, you can find them on the Concerts and Conversations YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and good night.